and welcome to my channel, Totally Spines. And today's video, I am going to share what I read for the month of April. So without further ado, let's get into it. I'm going to start with the physical books that I read for the month of April. So hold on, I'm missing a book. Actually, no, I'm not missing a book. Okay. All right. So the first books that I want to mention are part of a series, and that is all four of Heartstopper volumes 1 through 4 by Alice Oseman. I am doing a video on these, so stay tuned for that, for my review on these books. So as a whole, I will say that the series is a 4.5 for me. So yeah, those are the books that I'm starting out with. Next is See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. This one is like a time loop story. I am doing a video on this one as well. In addition to the next book that I'm gonna present to you. This one I would give a 4.25. So I'm not going to tell you too much about this one, but it's more of a time loop. These two individuals are reliving the same day, September 21st, over and over again. The next book is The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. Emily, she is experiencing Valentine's Day over and over again. So she's caught up in a time loop. So she's the only one in the time loop that is aware of it, and it's definitely a pretty cute book. I really like this one. I gave this one a 4.75 out of 5 stars. And the last physical book that I read is called Recommended for You by Laura Silverman. This one's pretty cute too. It's like this is more like it doesn't seem like it, but it's like a holiday type of winter holiday type of thing, Christmas, Hanukkah type of thing. But it's about Shoshana. She works at this bookstore, and then this boy, I think his name is Jake, starts working there, and she has a crush on him. But there is like a competition among the employees to sell the most books, and they get a Christmas bonus or a holiday bonus essentially. And she believes that she's going to win, but he is in competition with her and he is winning, and she is taking great offense to that because he doesn't even like books. So there is that. So it's cute. It's cute. I gave this book a 4.25. Now it's on to the books I read on Kindle Unlimited, and for some reason it's not working on my Kindle, so I had to go over to my Goodreads to look at it. So let's go over there. Hold on. Okay, so sorry if this angle is very, very close, but okay. Okay, so good thing they have these dates here because it's really great. So these two books are in the same series, King of Air and Guardian of Earth by Diane Hoxha. Essentially, the main character has been living, she's in a time loop essentially, but she dies on her 22nd birthday, and then she goes through life again. And she doesn't have any memory of her life prior to when she was 16 or 18 years old. She just knows that things change around her. Like, the people are different. Her mom, her dad are the same, but like people who work for them changes. So it's really weird. The people, she gets married when she was 20 years old, but each time her husbands change, and she was in love with at least 2 of them that she remembers. So and then she meets an enemy of her father, and then she falls in love with him, and then it's just drama. But yeah, as a whole with those two, I rated them both 3.75 out of 5 stars. So there's that. The next book is My Rotten Love Life by Laura Winters. I gave this a 4, but I might have rated it a 3.75. This one is, I think it's like a novella. Basically, she finds her best friend and her boyfriend sleeping together, and she leaves, but right in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and then she's stuck with them for for however long. I forgot how many years went by, like probably 2 or 3 years since the zombie apocalypse happened. And she basically has to witness her best friend and boyfriend, being lovey-dovey together. They're like still together or whatever. And this is like a reverse harem, essentially. She comes across like 3 different guys, and she essentially gets in a relationship with them in a zombie apocalypse. So the next book is Bounded by Thorns by Elizabeth Helen. It's book 1 of, I think, of 4. This is essentially a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's a reverse harem. So the guys in the story are fae, and they represent each season. Like one's winter, one's autumn, one's summer, one's spring. And the beast that they turn into these type of wolves, essentially. And I think I gave this one a 3.75. I think I gave it this rating because the fact that it's more than one book. I think I would like it if it was a duology, maybe a trilogy, but I feel like it's going to be 4 books. And also I took a star off because of the character that's supposed to represent Gaston is named Luca in this story. The next one is The Devil's Obsession by Emily Bray. Not Emily, but Emma Bray. I think I gave this one a 3.75, maybe 3.5. I don't really have any words for this one, but it's basically some over obsessive guy falling in love with some young girl. So it's like an age gap type of situation. So I think he's like 30 something and she's like 19 or something, but it's whatever. It's a novella. It's just something to pass the time. So yeah, 3.5 I'm going to go with. Next is Save a Life, Tell a Lie by Sedona Ash. I think I gave this one a 3.75 stars too. So this woman, she has this stalker who is looks like he's trying to kill her, and she runs into the arms of a vampire, and she pretends that she's in a relationship with him, and he does not like humans at all, but something about her smell or whatever he likes, so he goes along with it. And it's weird because when you find out what the stalker is, it's like, this is really weird. I'm not sure if I'm gonna read the next book. So next is Found in the Mountains by Olivia T. Turner. This is book 4 of the Green Mountain Boys series. What is it? She goes on a excursion with her family. She's on this horse named Thunder or Bolt or something like that. He gets spooked. He runs. She falls. She's lost. They're trying to find her. And then the park ranger is out to find her. It's like insta love situation. They fall for each other. There's that. The next book is The Lies Beneath by Bree Blackwood. I don't remember what this book is about. So this is like an enemies to lovers, forbidden college romance. The book irritated me. So I don't like the main female character. The guy, even though he's crazy, I like him to a certain degree. Basically, there's like a secret society that's at this college. She's trying to uncover it because an ancestor, duped of not becoming an actual elder of the secret society, essentially. And one of the guys that is in the society has a thing for her, but he is tasked with getting her to not search for clues that her ancestor is one of the rightful founders of the society. I just, it was just the ending. It was, obviously they hook up and all that, but in the end, it was so, I don't think I want to read the second one. Okay. I know I'm being very vague, but it's just, Would I suggest it to you guys? Probably not. Anyway, next book is Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. It's a standalone novella, part of a series. I gave it a 3. And I feel like if I read the other books in the series, maybe I would have given it a different rating. But ultimately, it was one of those books that I'm glad that it was over, kind of thing. So essentially, the main female character, don't remember her name, she's living in this village that is cursed. Everybody is like essentially almost turning to ashes. They're just slowly dying, essentially. And she is trying to find a cure, and she thinks the blood of a vampire can cure them. So she visits this vampire that is like lives in this castle or whatever, and tries to find a cure using his blood. And she comes back every month to take his blood and whatever. And I guess a romance stems from that. So it's whatever. Next is When You Know by Jessa Kane. I gave this a 3-star. The guy is a firefighter, a lieutenant firefighter. This girl's a college student. The firefighter basically sworn off not hooking up with anybody, but the moment he sees her, he is immediately enamored and whatever. It's a novella. At least this one is very knowledgeable. The fact that insta love is crazy. Yeah, so she is basically caught up in a whirlwind with him. His name is Bobby, and for 2 weeks she's in like a complete instant love fog. They just hook up continuously. He gave her a ring so they could get married, and then at some point she's like, what is happening? I haven't talked to my friends, I haven't talked to my family, I barely have gone to school. I need to get out of here. This is not right. This is crazy. And she leaves, and he's like crazy. Next book is Until I Get You by Claire Contreras. I gave this one a 4. It's like a hockey romance. And yeah, this one, I think this is the one that kind of initiated me trying to find other hockey romances. So if you have a hockey romance recommendation, let me know. But nonetheless, yeah, essentially these two individuals, they are essentially enamored with each other the first moment that they met. They are pretty hot and heavy at the very beginning, but then she leaves and his life kind of takes a turn for the worse, and he's really mad at her, but he's still very much in love with her. So for like probably 3 years he is out to find her, and once he does, he basically blackmails her into marrying him. I think it was cute, and I think that he never like full-fledged intentionally tried to hurt her or anything like that, even though he was mad at her. He did ask her some invasive questions that kind of made her upset, but out of the whole gist of everything, I think it was a good story, so I gave it a 4. The next book is Hypnotized by E.J. Lawson. I gave this a 4. I like this one better than Captivate, which is the first book. This one's like a Omegaverse thing where the main character, she's on her way to meet her pack, and the plane that she's on crashes, and she ends up staying with a pack that are in the mountains, and she builds a relationship with them. And I like this one significantly better than Captivate. And the next book in the series is called Selection. I'm really interested in finding out what's going on in that one, because that one's a reality TV show where they get to be selected by the 3 royalty princes. So that one sounds interesting. So yeah, there's that one. But yeah, Hypnotized was great close proximity. It was giving me Three Bears and Goldilocks vibes and all that. So there's that. The next one is 5,000 Nights of Obsession, a twisted Gatsby story by Dridib Enos. I'm not sure how to say that. This is one of those books where I'm kind of confused and conflicted of what the rating should be. I'm just going to give it 3.75 stars. I never read The Great Gatsby, so I can't really dwell too much on it, but I guess the Gatsby character, essentially, he is obsessed with this woman, and I'm not 100% sure why, but it's interesting that he goes from a rags to riches type of situation, and he only truly did it because of her. I think this technically has a happy ending, so yeah, there's that. Next one is The Monster's Den by Jillian West. I think I gave this one a 3.75 stars as well. So basically there's different types of monsters. Like there's vampires, there's gargoyles, there's a demon, and I forgot what the other one is. But yeah, I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just one of those books to read. The main character, she has this half human, half wolf child, and her person she hooked up with basically left her high and dry, and the brother of him is an alpha male from a pack, whatever, and he said like, oh, he owes money and all that, and now it's your responsibility to do that. So she's basically struggling trying to pay them and raise her daughter. So there's that. So she starts working at a place called the Monster's Den, and it's basically a sex worker, but she has to do tryouts with the owners, who are essentially the monsters, the reverse harem, whatever. But the thing is, even though she's technically a sex worker, she hasn't had sex with actual clients. She only had sex with like probably 2 or 3 of the owners before an actual relationship starts, blah blah blah. Anyway, it was fine. It was whatever. It's whatever. The next one is Vicious by A.J. Merlin's third book in Pleasure and Prey. I think I gave this one a 3.75 as well. This one is more of I think he's the main character is the male character. I guess he's emulating Freddy Krueger. The main female character, she goes to therapy and she comes across this guy and he becomes obsessed with her, and she runs away after he murders some people for her. They get in a relationship essentially. So if you have a dark heart, you're into serial killer romances, there's that. I can't really tell you too much about it. I read this quite some time ago, so I don't remember too much, but yeah, there's that one. Next is Sinful Obsession by J.A. Owen B. It's an enemies to lovers situation. This one is kind of sad, how they came to be. And so I remember this one, the main female character, she's going to college and she comes across this guy who wants her gone. He has the secret society thing at college, and he recognized her from childhood, but she doesn't recognize him. And he wants to get rid of her because he thinks that she's going to tell everybody about his past and ruin his life, because he is going to the NFL or something like that. And like things are starting to work out for him, and which does not make any sense, because if she says anything, it would ruin her life too. But anyway, yeah, he wants her gone, and she has no idea who he is. It's explained what happened, but it has to do with a cult, and it's just what happened to them and what happened to him, because essentially when they were children, they were in love, and they were trying to leave the cult, but they got essentially caught, so he sacrificed himself for her to get away. And They tortured him for information. They wanted him to tell them where she went, and he wouldn't. Next is Sweet Psycho by Mink. I gave this a 4. It was interesting. They're both a little psychotic, and it was kind of sweet. Hence the word Sweet Psycho. It was a sweet psycho romance, insta-love type of situation. So the main female character, she's like a hacker, and I'm just going to say CIA because I don't remember which department. Basically, they want her to track this guy for whatever reason. She does not know why they want him, but they feel threatened by him. So they ask her to get details about him. And he hardly has any footprint online, so she's very curious about him. They start having a connection when she runs into him. But it was sweet. As far as psychos are concerned. Like, they're not psycho crazy, like killing people on a spree. They're just chaotic, psychotic, chaotic psychos. If that makes sense, probably not. Anyway, next is That One Night by Emily Raff. It's essentially a prequel to a series. Well, it's essentially a prequel to a standalone in a series. This female character, she went to her brother's wedding, and she just got some bad news that she won't be getting into this fellowship program. And she's just at a bar, she's just chilling, and then this guy comes and she's enamored by him, and they hook up for that night. Turns out that he's actually a hockey player, and they don't tell each other who their names are or what they actually do. They have an idea of what they do, but they don't truly know that he is a hockey player. She just knows that he's in sports, and she told him that she's a doctor, essentially. So, yeah, they have a hookup, but she leaves before he wakes up. So he's obviously very upset about that she left. It's just a novella prequel to the story. So I'm actually reading the story. I think it's called Punking Around. It's a reverse harem. So it's not just them, but it's just setting up the story, essentially. So it was fine. So I gave it a 4. Next is Break the Girl by Rachel Jonas. It's book 1 of the series. So this one is a curvy girl reverse harem type of situation. So the main character, her sister commits suicide, and it's because she was assaulted, and the main female character thinks one of these guys in this fraternity did it. So she is breaking in to get their book that will probably get an indicator of who did it. And 3 guys in this fraternity, they're like essentially brothers. They're not blood brothers, but they're brothers nonetheless. And they're like one of the essentially dark type, brooding types. And they have cameras in their room, so they saw her break into their rooms, and they're trying to figure out why. And she doesn't want to get arrested because she's been arrested before. So she's essentially their slave, essentially. And yeah, they start a sexual relationship. Yeah, I gave this a 4, and that is it. That is a lot of books that I've read. I don't remember the number. I'll put it on the screen. That's how much. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
But if I lay down and I play dead